The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
The mother and brothers of Jesus arrived and, standing outside, sent in a message asking for him. A crowd was sitting round him at the time the message was passed to him. Your mother and brothers and sisters are outside asking for you. He replied, Who are my mother and my brothers? And looking around at those sitting in a circle about him, he said, Here are my mothers and my brothers. Anyone who does the will of God, that person is my brother and sister and mother. This is the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Please be seated. Who are my brothers and who are my mother and sisters? Here are my mothers and brothers. Anyone who does the will of God, that person is my brother and sister. For those sitting around Jesus, it must have been a revelation. They realized in a fractional moment that they belonged to Jesus in a way which they never realized. They understood that they had belonged to Jesus already, and their brotherhood and sisterhood was reactivated in the moment they do the will who sent Jesus to them. This passage is far more significant for us than a mere symbolic invitation. The astounding mystery is that there is the most intimate connection in us with God before we realize it, even before we respond to His call. And this astounding mystery is that we are brothers and sisters to Jesus from the very beginning. Only the spark is needed, the spark when we respond through our call to His love. If this spark of belonging is there, shouldn't this influence our mission, what we carry out in our local community? Because it is very crucial to see that those people who are unchurched or who stopped going to church, and most of those who have never heard of Jesus, who don't know Jesus, come to church, to put it bluntly, they are already our brothers and sisters. So today's gospel is very important to see that everyone belongs to Jesus. And Jesus, like a radiant sun, is shedding his light of invitation and support to everyone. To us Christians who follow him in a precious way, Jesus gives his support in terms of sanctifying grace. We have this sanctifying grace in our soul because of our baptism and because of our Holy Communion and confession of sins. But Jesus shines and gives his support to all other people as much as he can. He is unknown to us. So they are our brothers and sisters too. They had been marked by God's love in the very same way we had been before we responded to our call. And this is our prompting to love. This prompting to see in others brothers and sisters in Christ, this should not leave any space for us between us and the world, between us who practice our religion and those who don't practice our religion. So today's invitation by Jesus, here are my mother and my brothers, anyone who does the will of God, that person is my brother and sister. We should not allow any label, any threat, any mistrust, any scapegoating or prejudice to stand between us and those who are, to use T.S. Eliot's words, are unemployed by God. I like this image very, very much. That when you see the young chaps in the gangs seemingly doing nothing, definitely not going to church, just seemingly wasting their time, they can be seen as unemployed by God at the moment, but potentially they are our brothers and sisters. There is a second thought which shouldn't leave us in peace. If this is true, that everyone potentially has this background of being brother or sister to Jesus, in that case, our task and responsibility is enormous, because we can bring that spark to people which triggers out in them that, yes, I'm a brother and sister to Jesus and I want to do the will of God. So that moment of conversion, the opportunity of conversion is there for them, but often it is through the service and example and compassion of Christians. So our wording, how to address this hidden brotherhood and sisterhood in people, to reawaken in them, it's very important. And that's the mystery of love. And just as Jesus' words, that here are my brothers and sisters, you are my brothers and sisters, when they realized this, it was a magical moment for them. And we Christians have the privilege to carry those magical moments for others, which can lead to faith. And the third thought from yesterday's Bible group, we had a very fertile Bible group with Philip, just on the words when Jesus said to the first disciples, "Follow me, I will make you fishers of men." And we just understood in our meditation that these fishers of men, it was such a fresh image, such a weird image, such an exciting image. You know, when a child, you say something interesting to a child, like naming a puppet Mr. Crocodile, and for a child it's such a novelty that, oh, Mr. Crocodile, and they are laughing. So I will make you fishers of men. This image immediately captured their imagination and followed him. But this being fishers of men, this is what we Christians are also called to think about, because it requires thinking for every Christian community what methods, what opportunities we devise or create which can draw people, which can link people to Jesus. And I was very glad about yesterday's meditation in that Bible group, because being fishers of men today, perhaps it means something when we did mission in the old days, that going to people like the Jehovah's Witnesses and revolvering them with the truth that either you choose God or you go to hell. That doesn't work. But we have to offer the opportunities of love and peace, like yesterday when our two Margarets attended that drawing and painting, the Art for Wellness, which is a safe place for mothers with children or for senior citizens, when they just simply enjoy themselves, nourish their inner soul, their inner space, and just enjoy this gift of God. This is a form of being brothers and sisters to Jesus. So let us sensitive to this very subtle way of mission, when seemingly our visitors have nothing to do with coming to church on Sunday, yet on a weekly basis, if not twice or 3 times a week, they come to our church and they feel, they sense something, that someone is waiting for them who says, you are my mother and my brother, you are my brother and my sister. Anyone who does the will of God, that person is my brother and sister. Amen.
Amen.